Assalamu alaikum and welcome all viewers. Today I wanted to talk about the term Judeo-Christian, which is a phrase often used in order to suggest that Judaism and Christianity have a lot in common, and that it's the result of these commonalities that led to so much of the progress, morality, and values of the modern world. However, you'll find that the religion of Islam has been purposefully left out of this phrase, even though Islam has more in common with Judaism and more in common with Christianity than those two religions have in common with each other. Not to mention that Islam is also one of the three Abrahamic faiths, and Muslims make up about 1/4 of the world's population. So it's interesting that the term Judeo-Christian even exists, let alone how it portrays Islam as some sort of other unrelated thing. So very quickly, I'd like to show how Islam has far more in common with the two religions than those two religions have in common with each other. In fact, if you see Judaism veering to the left in regards to a particular issue, and you see Christianity veering to the right, you'll find Islam in the middle, being balanced regarding the issue and therefore being closer to both traditions. So for example, the major original split between Jews and Christians is their view of Jesus. You'll find that Jews go to one extreme in that they do not believe Jesus to be a prophet. They do not believe that Jesus was the Messiah. You'll find that Jews completely reject Jesus. On the other extreme, you find that Christians not only believe that Jesus was the Messiah, but they believe that Jesus is God. Also, at the same time, they believe that he is also the Son of God. And therefore, Christians worship him as God. However, if you look at Islam, you'll find Muslims in the middle. Similar to Christians, Muslims believe that Jesus is the Messiah. However, similar to Judaism, Muslims maintain a monotheistic tradition. We do not worship Jesus, nor do we believe in a Trinity. But rather, Muslims believe that Jesus was a prophet, that he worshiped God, he never claimed to be God, he never claimed to be the Son of God. But rather, he preached monotheism just as did all of the past prophets. Another issue we can analyze pertains to the purpose of this life in regards to the hereafter. On one side, you see Jews mainly focused on the life of this world and adhering to divine law. There is very little focus on the hereafter, and in fact, the hereafter is quite ambiguous. The Christians, on the other hand, are completely focused on the hereafter, in that there is practically no adhering to any divine law in this life. In fact, Christians claim that the old law of the Jews was abrogated, and that if you believe that Jesus is the Son of God and that he died for your sins, then you will enter paradise. In the hereafter, you will be eternally in heaven. However, you'll find Muslims to be in the middle. Islam focuses on both the life of this world and the hereafter. Like Judaism, Islam has certain teachings and laws that one must adhere to. But the focus of performing these actions is with hopes similar to the Christians in that they will enter eternal paradise in the hereafter. However, unlike the Christians, everyone will be held accountable for his or her own actions. On the day of judgment, they will be held accountable, and only then will they know whether or not they will enter paradise. And we could go on and on. There are many different examples we could use. However, in conclusion, I'd just like to point out that Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are referred to as the Abrahamic faiths. This is because we all share belief in the prophet Abraham. However, trying to exclude Islam from that tradition is very problematic, because when it comes to Abraham, you'll see that he wasn't a Jew. He did not come from a Jewish lineage, but rather the Jewish lineage came from him, as did the Arab lineage. Also, Abraham was not a Christian. He lived before Jesus, never worshipped Jesus, never mentioned a Son of God or a Trinity. But rather, you'll find that Abraham worshipped God alone, he submitted to God alone, and this is the very meaning of the word Muslim. So again, even in regards to the Abrahamic tradition, you'll find Islam in the middle. So the fact of the matter is, when talking about Judeo-Christian values, it's important to recognize Islam's role and how it relates to these traditions. Because when someone uses a phrase like Judeo-Christian, it's more than likely politically charged with very little basis in reality if you look at the facts of the Abrahamic traditions and what they have in common. Thank you for watching. Jazakumullahu khairan wa salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.